Welcome back, everybody. If you're new, my name's Nicholas, and this is Investing Against the Grain. So we had kind of a wild weekend, and we had some just weird drama happen over the last couple of days within the Tesla community. And I just want to address it before we get started because, frankly, things are starting to get a little weird on multiple fronts. So first of all, look, it's getting weird whenever Tesla community is starting to turn on each other. I mean, it's classic divide and conquer type mentality. So I don't know. I guess my 2 cents is, everybody has an opinion. Everybody, wants to get their self heard and acknowledged. And, it's okay to disagree with people. It's okay to not think that everybody needs to believe the same thing, even if you're on the same side of the team, right? So I don't know. I guess all I would say is, as a community, we need to do a better job about being the type of community we want to be and, kind of uplifting each other and allowing other people to say what they want to say and approach it in a very, pragmatic and sensible way. And if you disagree, it's okay. You can disagree. We can all disagree, but we should do it in an amicable way. There's no need for all of this infighting. All right. We have enough of that in this world, and we really need to lean towards, more hospitable ways of debating. Debating is healthy. Iron sharpens iron. So I think that's really what we need to focus on here. Now, with that said, and I'm not really going to address any more of that drama, we've still been having a kind of weird day, kind of weird week, kind of weird month, really, with all this Twitter drama within Tesla. All right. So we saw the stock market essentially crater for Tesla alone, right? TSLA. I think it got down to, let me take a look here. I think at one point it got down to like 182 over the last week, maybe 2 weeks. Something like that. But really what we need to focus on is the bigger picture, okay? I know everybody just seems to be getting very sensitive and very passionate or emotional regarding the stock price. But listen, you got to remember, when it comes to investing, you really need to check your ego, your pride, and your emotions at the door. At the end of the day, you should be investing in a company based on the fundamentals in the company and its leadership. And as far as I can tell, the fundamentals of Tesla have not changed. The balance sheet, the profits, the margins, the demand. I know there's some questionable things out there about the demand, and we'll touch on that in a second. But none of that has really changed for me. And leadership has also not changed. All right. I know everybody is kind of up at arms about what Elon's doing. Is he giving or spending enough time at Twitter or at Tesla and not or is he being too distracted with Twitter? My opinion, and it's all it is my opinion, is that Elon is doing what he needs to do. And I think Elon knows whether or not he needs to be at Tesla or not. Right now, I think Tesla, look, there's no point of having all of the best talent in the world when it comes to engineers if you can't trust them and they can't be, self-reliant, self-sufficient. And in reality, Elon doesn't have to be there 24/7 babysitting people. He's got plenty of people, of top-level leaders, from Zach to Drew to Ashok, right? There's so many people there. It's not like Elon has to be there or nothing works, right? I mean, this is just this complete misconception. I don't know why everybody acts this way. It's honestly a little wild to me, right? People know what they got to do. They know what they got to do in their day-to-day, and they're putting their heads down. They're doing their work, all right? I mean, we're all like that. We don't all need the CEO of our company sitting there, being at the company. Otherwise, what's going to happen? Well, look, the machine's going to keep moving because we all have our orders and we all know what our true north is, and that true north is what we focus on. And so it's no different for Tesla. Now, as far as Elon goes, everybody's fearful now that he's going to keep selling Tesla shares to fund Twitter. Now, in reality, I don't think that's going to happen, especially when you see GM is back at advertising with Twitter again. I think a lot of these advertisers are going to come back to the platform. It just makes a lot of sense. And if they don't, other ones will come along, especially if Tesla starts to open up a YouTube type competitor, right? You'll see advertisers flood back. And on top of that, I do think that they'll eventually figure out this blue checkmark verification process. And I do think they'll be able to nail that. And again, that'll be another way for them to generate revenue. But again, that's Twitter. None of that really affects Tesla, right? The only difference is that, okay, Elon has something else he's working on. And in reality, it's probably gonna be a pet project for him for about, 3 months, maybe longer. But I see that over time, I think he's gonna just kind of hand it off. All right. Now, either way, it's gonna drum up news and articles and headlines no matter what. All right. If anything gets tweeted on Twitter that is anything out of the norm or out of context or just not appropriate, you're going to see headlines about it. You're going to see Elon Musk, blah, 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 blah. Elon Musk, blah, 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 blah. Why? Because, well, a lot of these medias, that's how they get, they get attention, they get clicks, right? I mean, even YouTube's that way. Right, you see a lot of YouTube creators, even within this space, they put these clickbaity thumbnails up there to get you to click, to get you to watch, and then turns out, oh, it wasn't actually about what you thought it was going to be. I try not to do that stuff. Hopefully, you guys don't think I do that, but it's that type of stuff that really, it's what incentivizes people to do those things. And so, no matter what happens, if you tie Elon Musk's name to it, this is what's going to happen, right? So just get used to that. It's all I can say. I mean, everybody who is like freaking out about the fact that Elon bought Twitter, everybody who and this is mainly coming from a shareholder perspective, but if you're honestly that paranoid about Elon holding or buying Twitter, at this point, you either need to sell or just get over it. I mean, this is the medicine I'm offering, or I suggest you take. The reality is nothing's going to change. He's going to keep owning Twitter. And the reality is you're probably going to have more headlines and news coming out because Elon owns Twitter. Now, if you want to be sensible and logical and pragmatic, the truth is nothing has changed with Tesla. Now, we have heard rumors that there is softness in China. Again, right? We've heard this over and over. And I think at this point, what we should really kind of rely on is the fact that they know what they're doing. Everybody worries about, oh, are they going to do price cuts? Oh, there's softness. Oh, there's rumors about this and that. Look, worrying about that does you no good. All right, it doesn't benefit you. It doesn't make any material difference. But what we do know is no matter what, the Tesla China team have executed time and time again. They know what they're doing. They have their operations under control. They know how to get people to take delivery. They know how to grow demand. They know how to incentivize people, and they know when they can raise prices if they need to. Right? They understand what they're doing. They're efficient. I mean, honestly, these Chinese workers are next level. Right? From top down, they are absolutely crushing it, to the point where we have a lot of these Chinese workers coming over to California and Fremont to help them with their progress. Now, I'm speculating there. We don't actually know what they're doing in Fremont. I'm assuming that they're there to help them iterate and find better ways to make use of the space and the layout they have, which isn't that efficient. I also believe that they're there to train up on how to build the SNX so that they can go back to Shanghai and start delivering SNX there, or building them there and delivering them there. But the point is, they are going to be fine. Demand's going to be fine. I honestly think that we're going to see a breakout number for Tesla. I kind of feel like they're trying to hit 500,000 this quarter. I think that's a big goal that they have, and I think they're trying to push for that. And I think that's why we really see these rumors of a potential drop in price, and why we see the insurance stuff come back. I think a lot of it is just them trying to make sure people take delivery by the end of the year, right? And it's also a holiday type discount. I mean, I don't know. I don't think that we have that big of an issue. Maybe next year there'll be issues if we continue with this, economic downturn that we've been seeing. But I think at least for the next, 2 months, the rest of this month and next month, I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be more than fine. Now, there's also been rumors about potentially China shipping vehicles out of Giga Shanghai to the US, and Elon Musk pretty much squashed that over the weekend. So don't bother, paying any more mind to those rumors. Also, something else that I found very interesting was that today, essentially there was, I always forget his name, one of the largest, he is the largest, I believe, individual owner of Tesla shares from Singapore. I don't know why I always forget his name. But he essentially was reiterating that Tesla should do a stock buyback now, right? And Elon said that it's not up to him, it's up to the board. So I don't know, maybe that means that the board is going to go ahead and sign off on it. Who knows? We'll find out. But I do think it makes a lot of sense to do a Tesla a share buyback now, especially at these levels. But again, we will see what happens. The bottom line is, look, everything's going to be all right. If you like, tensions are so high right now, and I get it. Like, people, their portfolios are half of what they were before. People are losing money. People are getting margin calls. People are getting destroyed by their option positions that they had. I mean, there are so many people that had these leaps for Tesla. I mean, me included, right? I had some leaps in Tesla as well. Well, I still have them, and they're garbage essentially, right? Right now, they're essentially worthless. But the point is, some people, leveraged a little too much when it came to options. But that's the risk, right? And in reality, that's why you have options, is to get that outsized return. But you have to remember, there's also that other side of it that can turn against you. And so when we get into a bear market, which we are in, I mean, we've been in this bear market. You could argue that we've been in a recession. Well, what do you expect to happen? Now, you can try to ride it out. And I think a lot of us are going to do that. I think we'll get through this. But in the meantime, you don't want to get through this and then end up with no friends. You don't want to get through this and be seen as somebody who's just hyper emotional and didn't really understand what they were doing. And, it's just not a good way to invest. So my not financial advice to you is to be patient. Base your decision on the fundamentals. Do what's right for your family. Take care of what you need to do. Work hard at your current job. Do all the right things. Get rid of debt. Take care of what matters. Make sure you have a nest egg just in case, or something in case there's an emergency. And just wait, right? This will end. All of this will end. It always does. All right, we have some potentially good news moving forward. And I know, you're probably getting sick and tired of Nick the Optimist, but here's the reality. We saw 7.7% print on CPI. I mean, I've been saying this since June, July. We went from 9.1 to 8.7 to 8.5, 8.3, 8.2, now 7.7. Inflation's coming down. Is it coming as fast as we want? No, probably not. But it's coming down and is trending in the right direction. The bigger news is that it seems like the Fed is definitely going to start to slow down. I would be shocked if we don't see a 50 basis point rate hike in December, which I know you're probably thinking, oh, it's still a rate hike, but it's slowing down, right? It's a smaller rate hike. And in reality, it really seems like at most we'd probably get to 5.5%, maybe even 6%. If that's the case, that means 4 more 50 basis point rate hikes. Or it means we'll have 150, another 50 gets us at 5, and then maybe they go down to 25 basis point rate hikes. Again, we will see. And on top of that, if we start to get better and better inflation numbers, that could help as well. Now, the economy is definitely slowing. I went to the mall this weekend. I went to Banana Republic. I want to buy a new sweater. And everything was on sale. Everything was like 25, 50% off, which tells me that they have a oversupply problem. And when you have an oversupply problem, that means you have to cut prices so that you can move inventory. And when you cut prices to move inventory, that's deflationary. And so I think we're going to start seeing that throughout the economy. It's just taking a while to show up in the numbers. But we've been seeing it. We saw it with Target. We saw it with Walmart. We're seeing it with Banana Republic. We're seeing it with the autos. We're seeing it with lumber. We're seeing it with metals. I mean, you're starting to see it throughout the economy. You're definitely seeing it with housing. And I think that the housing market may really be what ends up getting the Fed to really slow down, because they don't want to completely destroy the housing market. And on top of that, we're seeing a lot of companies do layoffs and stop slowing down hiring. So as far as the Fed's concerned, I do think we're doing all the things the Fed wants to see. Unfortunately, this is the way it has to be done, at least based on how the Fed works. Right? It's unfortunate they don't have more tools to counteract the things that they did. But it is what it is, right? We live in this world. We have to deal with the pain when it happens, and we have to take our medicine, and that's what we're doing right now. So let's just kind of take things with a grain of salt. let's try to be more balanced and, have patience with each other. Let's not just lash out, and let's be excited about all the good things that are happening. Now, what I'm really excited about is that Elon also announced FSD Beta 11 went out to some initial beta testers on September 11th at 11:11 p.m. West Coast time, I believe. That's a big deal because he confirmed also that it's a single stack. And we got some of the release notes. We didn't get the full release notes. And it seems like there might have been some drama about that. I don't know if they were trying not to release it or anything, but I think, or what Elon was saying is that version 11 is going to slowly roll out, right? We're going to slowly increase it because this is the full stack, and the full stack includes FSD beta, the actual beta software taking over the highway stack, which will be the first time we've seen this. So extremely excited to test this out. This should be pretty next level, and I'm hoping that it also comes along with parking lots and good endpoint locations. That's definitely the biggest problem that I have seen with regards to like getting to a robo-taxi type situation or solution, is that, I always do a test at Chipotle because I frequent Chipotle way too much, but man, it's just amazing. But anyways, going to Chipotle, whenever I go to the destination there, for some reason, the GPS has Chipotle out still on the highway instead of going into the parking lot. So things like that still, I think, need to be iterated on. And of course, things like being at an airport and being within a parking garage, having to figure that out. But again, I think version 11 or the 11 dot releases should be the versions that really address all of this, or at least start taking cracks at it. So I'm pretty bullish on it. I've been watching a lot of Omar's videos, lots of zero disengagements for him out in California. Mike's, I don't have dot 3 yet, but my experience is where I live is that it's pretty damn close. I mean, it just needs a little polishing. It needs to add in a few things. U-turns would be good. Being able to reverse, just for these like weird situations that you might get yourself into. Better location-based stops, and then doing things within parking lots. I think that'd be good as well. If you just did those things, at least where I live, you could probably go ahead and release a robo-taxi. But that's where I live, right? And I'm kind of in a geography echo chamber, right? I might have that experience here, but somebody in Jacksonville, or someone in Raleigh, or someone in Newark or New York City, they might have a different experience. So really, we need to make sure everybody's getting the same type of results. But it's still very bullish, and we're still set for a wide release of FSD beta by the end of the year, which will trigger a huge surplus of revenue for Tesla, because they can actually go ahead and account for all of the revenue that they've acquired for FSD beta, or at least that's how I understand it to work. Anyways, I still think there's a lot to be excited about, and I don't think any of this infighting is worth any of this drama, right? So everybody needs to take a step back. If somebody has said something you don't like, if somebody is doing things or saying things you don't like, look, ignore them. Don't talk to them for a little bit, but eventually, if they want to make a truce, forgive them, right? We need to get to a place in this world where we're not just blocking, ignoring people forever, especially if they come and say, hey, let's just call it truce. We're friends. We have more in common than we have not in common. I might have said some things that, you don't like. I'm sorry for that. I didn't mean to offend you or harm you. I was just trying to get my point across. Let's move on. And please, forgive me, and let's just move from here. And I think we need to have more forgiveness in our society. At least that's the type of world I want to live in. All right, this is kind of more of a therapy session talk today, with stock, with the community, with hopium, optimism for the future and the economy. I truly believe everything's going to be all right. We'll get through this, and we'll have better times. I do. So I guess I was going to wrap up, but there's one other thing I'll talk about. Kathy Woods had this beautiful tweet tweet thread, which I highly recommend you check out. And essentially what she does is she maps out the similarities between the moment we are in now and the roaring 20s, and how there's a lot of things right now that, depending on what the Fed does next, could lead us into a roaring 20 type of scenario. Now, she does juxtapose that with the other side, being the pragmatic person that Cathie Woods is. And she says that, however, there is a chance that they could also go too far and we end up in a 1929 situation, a la the Great Depression. But I thought it was a very well written out thread. Check it out. I mean, Cathie Woods, right? She's always, very insightful in her perspective. I'm not sure if she's always right, or if she just, enough time hasn't gone by to show that she will be right. But it's a good thing to look at and read and at least digest and come up with your own opinions. In my opinion, I think that I do see a light at the end of the tunnel, and I think we will probably get there sooner than most people think, but there might be more pain along the way for the economy, not necessarily the stock market. I think the stock market will rebound way before the economy starts to rebound. And that's essential to understand, that you have the economy and you have the stock market. And right now they are not, normally they don't really necessarily equate to one or the other, right? Good economy does not necessarily mean good stock market. Bad economy does not necessarily mean bad stock market. In fact, if you look at any time we get worse news of the economy, minus inflation going down, but if we had less jobs added for the previous month, or if we see slowing demand, or if we see, just anything that's like negative for the economy, stock market goes up. All right. So this is the kind of weird world we're living in right now. So bad news is good news for the market right now. So just keep in mind that the market will probably run well before all of the pain is over from the economy. But that's what kind of the Fed wants, because the Fed can deal with a bad economy by cutting interest rates and stimulate it immediately, which is what they did last time, which is why we're in this mess, because they stimulated too much and they didn't stop the stimulation before we got into this situation, right? That's where the whole transitory saga began. All right, we're going to leave it there. If you enjoyed this therapy talk, you know what to do. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that bell. I love you all. Thanks for watching. Peace.